Thank you. We're excited to have you. It's a good group. Got good new energy. Good handful of new people, new director, and a lot of committed folks who've been here a while. So hope you enjoy it. We're excited to have you, and we appreciate you picking us. We know there's some openings out there, so good. And thanks for coming. And you all are welcome to stay, or you are welcome to get to that other important thing you have to do if you don't want to sit through this. So entirely up to you. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you. All right. With that, we'll move on to community announcements. Anyone in chamber or online who has a community announcement they'd like to make? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comments. Anyone in chamber or online who would like to make a public comment, now is your chance. Again, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. Number 1, approval of January 6, 2026 council minutes. Number 2, review and file bills recapped as of January 19th, 2026. And number 3, set public hearing date for Southfield Road Business Assessment District.
Mr. George, at this time, be it resolved that the Village Council of the Village of Beverly Hills approve the consent agenda as read.
Support.
Support from Ms. Cascometti. Ms. Brown, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Abud?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Ms. Rajusco?
Yes.
Ms. Cascometti?
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, thank you. On to the lengthy business agenda. There is one item on the business agenda this evening. Number 1, approved contract for prosecution services. Mr. Rothy.
Yes, before you this, microphone's doing good today. Before you this evening is a revised contract with Attorney Tom Ryan. As you are all aware, Tom Ryan retired from his position as general counsel for the village. He did offer at the time, and we unofficially accepted his continuance to provide prosecution services for the village. If we want to make this official, we do need to amend the contract. So we've prepared a contract. Attorney Kolb has reviewed it and approved of it as well. It is for a 2-year term. It would expire, if ratified this evening, January 19th, 2028. We are recommending approval of the agreement. Again, prosecution services generally generate their own revenue through fines and fees collected by the village from the courts. Revenues and expenses for these services are managed within the Public Safety Fund and do not affect the general fund in any way, shape, or form. The retainer for the first few months remains the same at $5,000 per month. I want to point out that it has been $5,000 per month since at least 2012. I didn't bother going back further in my search, but I can say with certainty it has been unchanged since 2012. So the structure of this, it would increase by $500 a month to $5,500 for the beginning in fiscal year 27, and then at the 1-year mark, it would increase another $500. So there's a total phased increase of $1,000 a month during the first year of the contract. I asked Tom to do this just to kind of help smooth any budgetary impact, which again, I think is very minor when you look at our $8 million public safety fund. But again, just always trying to get a good deal for us. And then lastly, in the event that there does need to be a jury trial or litigation that he has to deal with, there's a few very small litigation things he's continuing to represent us on that he's been working on well before, he decided to retire. We are increasing that rate from $125 an hour to $190, which, again, these are infrequent situations, and they were not covered under the retainer previously either. And then the $190 rate aligns with the hourly rate that Rosati would charge in a similar instance. So with that, happy to answer questions, and I ultimately recommend approval of the contract.
Any questions? If Mr. Ryan was here, I'd ask him what relevant experience he has. But he's not, so we won't.
He was quite happy on the phone when I called him today.
Yeah?
Seemed a little
Forward to his
relaxed.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, he knew he had a Tuesday night that he didn't have to drive in. Any questions? This is, and I forget the exact gymnastics of it, but I believe in the 28-10 period, there was a reduction on that, so that has been stagnant for quite a while. So given what's happened in the world of fees, that's eminently fair, according to my reading of it. So, no questions? If not, I'll take a resolution.
All right. Be it resolved, the Beverly Hills Village Council hereby approves a contract with Thomas J. Ryan for prosecution services and authorizes the village manager, Mr. Rothy, to sign on behalf of the village, and the attachments are all there.
Support.
Support from Mrs. Kescommittee. Ms. Brown, would you please call the roll?
Mr. George?
Yes.
Ms. Rojusco?
No.
Ms. Kescommittee?
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Abud?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, thank you. All right, that concludes the business agenda. On to public comments. Anyone in chamber or online? Seeing none, we'll move on to the manager's report. Mr. Rothy.
Yes, a few updates this evening. In March, we're going to be offering a new online payment platform through our existing software vendor, BSNA. It will better integrate as we're taking payments with the accounting software piece of it, but it will also allow for more payment options, including via phone call, paying via text messages, using Apple or Google Pay, and we're even going to have a little kiosk at the counter that you tap to pay, just like at a restaurant when the guy brings a little thing around. We get one of those as part of this, so exciting. Again, not a very sexy thing, but I think a good service enhancement all the same. And I didn't put in my report, but the fees are minimally reduced from our current vendor. So instead of paying a 3% convenience fee, it's 2.9. I know it's not a lot, but it is still lower as well for more services. So again, be on the lookout for that in March. Starting tomorrow, we should be launching TextMyGov. We've been publicizing it and kind of doing a soft launch. We've got a lot of numbers signed up so far. Again, we were able to import a decent amount through our existing utility billing database, so we'll start using that in the coming days. Stay tuned for more. I think in March, we're going to have 2 informational meetings that are public meetings of the community, not public meetings of this body, but just community open house meetings. One on the TAP grant project for especially anybody in the construction area. We're inviting all of them. We're going to record the meeting, so if they can't make it, they can, go on and, watch it. And then the second meeting will be on the Arity Dam study. It's the public kickoff meeting, so don't have dates for that at the moment, but will likely be announced and made public before our next council meeting, so just stay tuned. Saving the dates for a few upcoming meetings. Next Wednesday, January 28th, we have our joint meeting with the Planning Commission. Saturday, that's at 7, and then Saturday, the 31st, we have our Village Council study session at 9 a.m. I won't read through the various project updates in there, but I do want to highlight, we do try and provide quarterly financial reports on how the village is performing. One of those accompanies my report. A few highlights real quick. You'll notice that fiscal year to date interest, and again, this is as of 12/31/2025, fiscal year to date interest earnings were $460,000. Again, thank you for letting us invest in the Michigan class portfolio. That's definitely where a decent chunk of our money is, and you can see it's definitely performed well. I know rates are going down, but we're still, we're still doing pretty good. When you're subtracting for cable board cash, we have $29,411,849. You'll notice the water and sewer operation fund is a little cash flow positive. So again, our rates are covering our cash expense outflows. We've maintained, we ended last fiscal year with about $1.8 million in cash. We've continued to hold right around that level, which is a good sign. Across all the other funds, nothing to point out of note, revenues that are out of line of expected or expenditures of out of line of expected. But I do want to comment on the audit conversation from last week and just say that in reviewing the management discussion and analysis, which I prepare, I did notice that I made a typo when I was referring to this current budget. I transposed a 1 instead of a 2, and it should have been a $2 million transfer instead of a $1 million transfer. believe that was pointed out, so I do just want to apologize for my error. In no way does that section flow or affect any of the auditor's actual work papers. So I wanted to point that out. And then we'll talk about this in the upcoming study session budget workshop, but the current fiscal year budget, which was prepared by interim manager Trice and former finance director Sheila, or McCarthy, I think, never actually worked with her, but, so I apologize if I butchered her last name. You will notice that we had a $2.8 million transfer from, in total, 2.1 million of that is going into the capital projects fund. 2 million of that 2.1 million was the loan proceeds, which we actually receipted in fiscal year 25, not getting the loan, transferring out in fiscal year 26. So we will not be ending the year, we're not projected to end anywhere near $1 million of general fund balance for the current fiscal year. I think we will be ending, again, around the $3 million mark because we did get that loan. The loan has been doing well. The fiscal year-to-date interest, you can see on the capital projects fund, we've earned $61,000 already in that fund. And, again, the 10-year interest on that fund was, I think, $370,000. So we've already gotten 60. Again, it's not going to pay for itself, but a little does go a long way. We're trying to be good stewards. So, again, as of now, I don't think we're going to need that full 2.8 million of transfers out that are budgeted. Whatever the final number may be, that's what we have end-of-year budget amendments for. I do still think, as I said, 2.1 million. I think I'm going to still need that 100,000. But the 2 million for that we got for the loan, we should be able to back that out at the end of the fiscal year, no problem. The only reason why we wouldn't is, again, just with timing of the construction costs and fiscal year, you don't want to cut it too much and then get dinged by the auditor that, hey, you went over budget, when it was just when the work is done and when the bill is paid. That's the finances. And then last but not least, and I don't like talking about myself to begin with, but I was elected to the City Manager Association, Municipal Executives Board. I had been nominated by my peers, and I was honored to accept the nomination, and I did win a seat on the board. I'll take office, so to speak, later this week at the winter conference that I will be attending. If I make it there in time, it's up north, so we'll see how that goes with my travel plans. But I've never served in an elected capacity before, and again, I'm honored to be recognized by my peers. I'm not sure if there'll be a press release or not, but I wanted you to hear it from me first before you heard it elsewhere. That concludes my report this evening.
All right, thank you. Questions for Mr. Rothy on his report?
Just one question, Mr. George. Mr. Rothy, could you go back to the very beginning of your manager's report, with the new payment platform? What is the range of services that can be paid for? Is that just taxes, or that's water bills, permits?
Everything.
Everything? Okay.
Yes, including even potentially taking donations as well. So it's very customizable, but yeah, anything, utility billing, taxes, you get code enforcement has to come and cut your lawn.
Okay.
We could bill for that, we could pay that through here. And it's actually nice because if somebody in Michigan has multiple properties, it'll be like one, and the other communities have the same system. They'll actually be able to log in, and if they had multiple utility bills or multiple tax bills, it's all one kind of statewide system now that they're building. So it's kind of neat.
Right.
I don't know how many people are in that situation of having multiple properties, but it'll be more convenient for them as well.
Great, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have a question also on that topic. You said that the fees they were charging are going down from about 3% to 2.9%. Those fees are passed along
Yes,
to
yeah, we don't, those are passed through. They're not paid by the municipality at all, just like the current ones are now. If you pay your bill online with a credit card, you got the fee. It is possible, some people don't know, it is possible to, if you sign up through the automatically pulling it out of your bank, there is no fee for that. So you can pay your utility bill automatically with no fee, should you choose. But if you want to use, get the miles like me, you got to figure out, is that 3% or 2.9 worth it? For me, it depends.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you for the comprehensive report. All right, so we can move on to council comments. Mr. Mercer.
Thank you, President George. I know that you are wanting to maybe send a text to Mr. Drummond if this meeting gets over faster than the one he led a few months back.
So you're going to filibuster it?
No, I am not, but I do have a couple comments, so hopefully this doesn't take you over.
Oh, yeah.
As my liaison to the Southfield Township government, they had a meeting last week, and I thought I'd update on that meeting. It was very well attended. It was a good attended meeting. So they had their audit report, which came out pretty good. I don't know if everyone knows, and maybe this is not for the people at the table, but for people maybe listening or watching this later, but Michigan, the way it's set up, because we are a home rule village, right? We can't handle a few things. There are some things that the Southfield Township handles for us, for Bingham Farms, and for Franklin. And I see it as kind of an economies of scale type thing, where we each don't have to pay for elections, we each don't have to pay for assessment and things like that. So we're kind of combined. So that being said, that's kind of why Southfield Township exists, right? They existed before us. We are villages, so they still exist. And they handle property assessments. So if you have an issue with your property assessment, you can go in and they handle the people that are contesting that. They handle getting them assessed and getting our tax bills out. So with that, that fee for assessments has gone up considerably over the last few years. Hopefully it's about done. These are all things I'm taking away from the meeting, right, that I attended when I was there. Obviously, they collect the property tax that are imposed by the state. They also collect property taxes for the school district we're in. They also collect taxes for any county authority, right? So like the smart tax, I think there's a tax for
Museum
parks.
Museum.
Yeah, museum, all that stuff. Those are all itemized on your tax bill that you get. So that's the big one. You see that. So when they met, they had the audit from a real nice lady that was an auditor. She took a lot of questions. And basically the conclusion was just like our audit, the revenue and expenditures were appropriate for what they were doing. The statutory requirements for the township were either met or exceeded, right? And the audit was given, you basically, the highest level of audit possible, right? The rating, just kind of like ours. So that was good. During the meeting, there were a lot of questions from or some questions from some of the trustees. It really had to do with fund balances and talking about that. And this will go into their budget session. And their budget session is going to be, I think, March 10th is the meeting. I think that's the second Tuesday. I think it's the second Tuesday of March, if that's the right date. So if you're interested in hearing kind of how the audit flows into the budget, that would be a good meeting to attend, because that's when they'll approve their budget, because they have to approve their budget by the 31st of March, because their fiscal year starts the beginning of the second quarter, so April 1st. So some of the discussion that they had was that they've obviously been doing some repairs at the township building. The building is about 35 years old. It really hadn't been upgraded. I know they put in some new tile over there. They put in some new carpet over there. It was needed. I've been in there for a number of years, and it's nice. It looks good. They've updated some plumbing, done some bathroom work, replaced the windows. That was a big expenditure. They also had to put in some new items for ADA compliance. And then because of the way kind of government works now and politics works, they obviously put in some new security features, right? And that costs them to do that. Bottom line is, the way I see the numbers coming away from it for this year, it looks like they're going to be about $750,000 in reserve, which is probably a little concerning. I think it's concerning for the trustees, at least what I heard, and maybe some residents. But I also did some math, and I know that they're bringing in about $900,000 to $1 million for taxes that they can collect, and they're going to have between $1.2 and $1.4 million going out. So obviously they're going to spend down that $750,000 reserve, probably to the tune of about $350,000 reserve. That's going to be determined by the trustees. We're really lucky. A lot of the trustees actually are from Beverly Hills. They understand it. They've been around a while. I think that's a good thing. And the trustees then, at that meeting, will determine, one, the millage rate, which will determine how much money they actually will bring in and how much that will spend down the reserve. A couple of the things that are pushing their budget over kind of where they were at, not just the capital expenditures, but this, because they handle elections, they're required by the state of Michigan to buy certain equipment for elections, ballot equipment. And they're going to have to buy that equipment, if not in their next fiscal cycle, in the one after it, because they'll need to have that equipment by the time you hit primary election in probably March, I think it is, of 2028, right? So they'll have a couple $100,000 expenditure. They will probably keep that out there, so they might be, they might have $350,000 of reserve, or they might have a little less than that if they budget that in, knowing that it might roll over to the next year. Kind of like what Mr. Rothy was talking about. You kind of keep it out there so you kind of make your auditor happy. But it looks to me like they're going to significantly reduce that reserve, something that I think is more in line with where they probably should be as a taxpayer, what I would see. But if you're really interested in that and knowing where it stands and asking questions, their next meeting is on March 10th, and you'll see, what the trustees there decide. I think those trustees are, like I said, pretty good. I've known them. I know most of them. I've known them for a while, and I think they represent the village interest and our interest as taxpayers to Southfield Township pretty well. So that's the recap of that meeting in my words. I apologize in advance. I will not be at next week's joint planning council meeting. I have a meeting out of town every year around this time, and that's happens to be traveling next week. And Mr. Rothy, congratulations on your elected office. That's good. Glad you're joining the ranks. So congrats. That's a very, very good thing for the village, I think, too. So appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for indulging me.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. O'Gorman.
Only comment I have is a request for Mr. Arnold, Mr. Rothy to pay attention to our seniors and anybody who might be at risk this week with the low temperatures, and particularly for those who could be losing power and or heat. So if we have a plan for those folks who do find themselves in trouble, a path for them to stay warm, because it will be, I think it's Friday, -7 overnight. My boiler has already kicked off twice in the last 2 weeks, so we're living on edge, enjoying the suspense of what's going to happen throughout the week. But needless to say, if somehow you could get the word out, or if somebody has a problem, feel free to call. If we can somehow manage to help those people get through the next week safely, that would be great, particularly people who are my age or older is a right way to say it, I guess. Who may not have the capabilities to fix things immediately. So anyway, appreciate that. Thanks. That's all.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cascometti.
Nothing tonight, Mr. George, thank you.
All right, Mrs. Rajewska.
Yes, I just want to say I enjoyed the Parks Planning meeting. It's always a good meeting to sort of get together and figure out our successes from the past year and places to improve in the next year. Congrats to Mr. Rothy on your nomination and your new elected position. I'm sure you'll do great. Safe travels. I too attended the Southfield Township audit meeting and hope to make the budget meeting. I think it's interesting, and I think that it's something that many of our residents don't fully understand the functioning of, and I think it's an important thing to follow and be aware of, the same thing as the things that happen in here are. So I look forward to seeing some more people there on the 10th, and that's all I have for this evening.
All right, thank you. Mr. Abud.
Thank you, President George. SEMCOG Transportation Coordinating Council meeting will be this Thursday, January the 22nd. Also be attending the SEMCOG Executive Committee meeting on Friday, and both of those meetings will be downtown. Nothing to report for the league. Cable Board, a meeting tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. or 7:45, I think it is. I'd like to be there right at 7:30 maybe, we'll see. Next, they're planning, YMCA is actually moving in April of 2026, and the lease for Midvale with our community and senior center for Next is due March of 2027. So I was at the meeting this morning, and there's going to be the interlocal agreements have to be looked at moving forward, but obviously, as they're aware that they can't ask for anything unless they know what they want or need at this time. But I'll keep everybody abreast of that and move forward. That's all I have. Thank you.
And can I ask you, Mr. Abud, a question on the senior center Next? You're saying that they're going to move out of Midvale. They have to vacate there, right? They're not getting that renewed, and they're going to move into the YMCA facility?
Right. But YMCA has actually sent notices out that they're moving out by April of 2026. So then originally Next was going to get $42 million and redo everything, but now it's going to be $3 million to kind of fix what they currently have before they can move in.
Okay. I'll jump in real quick just to clarify. The city of Birmingham owns the building presently.
Oh,
So it's not owned by the Y, it's the Birmingham.
Bought
And
it.
maybe once did, but it's currently owned by the city of Birmingham.
Okay.
So YMCA is moving out, Next is moving in, and it's a Birmingham-owned property.
and we have 602 members from the village that go to Next, so
Okay.
that's our vested interest.
Thanks for representing us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You good?
Thanks, sir.
You good? All right. Congratulations, Mr. Rothy. Go spread the good word of Beverly Hills across the state. So got to be doing good work to have your peers nominate you. So good work there. Chief, I'm happy to see another public safety officer come in. Is that, I know we're not full, but we're knocking on the door of full, which is awesome. That's been a long time coming, and quick work by you, so good work there. I will take that as a testament to the culture you're setting, and so I appreciate that greatly. Last week I said, hey, contact, make sure you reach out in these unprecedented times and make your voice heard to your elected officials, and then the next day, ICE goes and shoots a mom in the head. And so I remain frustrated with national politics, and I would encourage people to have their voices heard and try to stir your elected officials to action. We're watching today 2 points get shaved off of all the financial markets because the world is uncertain what we're doing. I would encourage people to actually read about what happens if NATO breaks apart, because we're the aggressor against another NATO member. It doesn't end well. We can't add $2+ billion to the debt as a nation and then anger the people who buy the debt. So it will have some fairly severe consequences for our country and our finances. And that is humanitarian issues within our country aside. So I would encourage people, again, make sure you're voicing your concerns, your desires for good governance, because there is a need for it. And I would like to believe at some point the voices will break through. So keep at it. I appreciate the people in the room who are doing the work. And I feel fortunate that we are in the position we're in right now, but our voices are needed to make sure that people who aren't in our position are supported. So with that, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?